Hi, I'm Jeremy Pang from School of Wok, and this is my new signature kitchen from Symphony. I'm going to cook up a glass chicken noodle salad. This could be a great side dish for a summer barbecue or something like that. We're going to start with your glass vermicelli noodles, or actually a mung bean vermicelli. So you need to soak your noodles through before you do anything else. Actually, I find that a lot of noodle packets have the wrong instructions, and that is that you have to boil your noodles. But if you boil your noodles, a lot of the starch comes out and they become really sticky. So for me, soaking them just in a little bit of hot water from the kettle is much better. Your noodles will really soften up very, very quickly, especially if they're thin like this. So it should only take 2 to 3 minutes. So whilst those noodles are soaking, I'm gonna get going with the filling. So I've got some sesame seeds here. They're a little bit raw, so I'm just gonna toast them through in a dry wok first of all. So sesame seeds toasted off, they've got this nice sort of golden brown color. My noodles have been soaking for a good 3 minutes or so now. So they've lost all that packet shape straight through a sieve. Just run them through with a little bit of cold water, just to stop them from cooking. And then I like to actually dry the noodles. The drier the better, because then they become nice and separate later on. Straight over a clean tea towel, and you can either leave them out or you can pop them into your fan oven, lowest possible temperature, and within sort of 10 minutes or so, they'll be bone dry. Right, so the noodles are in, drying away. Next up, I've got my chicken. It's poaching in some chicken stock. So I'm just gonna bring that over because that's cooked through now. So you wanna keep it nice and succulent and let it cool before I shred it up. I like to use chicken thighs rather than breast, but either will work. Just gonna keep a little bit of this stock aside, ready for my salad dressing later on. So now to the salad ingredients. It's really simple this. The noodles are the main event. So I just got some cucumber and carrot, which we're gonna slice up. You're gonna matchstick up your carrot. Nice fine matchsticks. Usually Chinese style, or the chopping. If you've got something long, like long noodles, then your carrot's gonna be following that sort of shape and size. So once all your carrot's done, onto the cucumber. Same size, but I'm gonna keep these slices rather than matchsticked. I like to take the inside out just to keep the cucumber. That's nice. So just carry on. Once you've got all your cucumber sliced, they can go in with the carrots. Next we need a little bit of finely sliced spring onion, both for garnish and to mix the flavour into the salad itself. Again, nice long strips are good. So all my veg are cut, ready for the salad. Next up, my chicken. It's been cooling, so I'm just gonna shred that through. I like to use chicken thigh because it's a lot more moist than chicken breast. Even if you overcook it a little, it'll still contain that moisture, that extra water. Get that succulent texture. Straight into the mixing bowl with your veg. So everything's prepped up, just gotta make the sauce. We're gonna start with some Sichuan peppercorns. These are actually berries, and what they do is, when they hit your palate, they really leave this sort of tingling, numbing feeling on your tongue. Slightly scary, very tasty. Right, so those Sichuan peppercorns, they're nicely crushed through. We'll use about half a teaspoon of those. We're gonna make up the sauce with this chicken stock here. It's slightly warm, that's okay. It'll melt that sugar through when it goes in. So the first thing is your chil chow chili oil. Now I want a little bit of the actual oil to go and glaze around the noodles. So a tablespoon or so of that. And then the stuff at the bottom, that's made up of chili flakes, garlic, sometimes ginger, a little bit of tomato paste. I like my food quite hot, so I'm going for a good spoon of that in there. If you want it slightly more mild, maybe work in teaspoons. Light soy sauce is next. Now light soy sauce should be quite salty in flavour. Not like dark soy sauce, which is a lot more caramelized. So a couple of tablespoons of that will give us the savory flavor of this dressing. Next up, your sesame sauce or sesame paste. This stuff's actually quite thick. It's almost like the Chinese tahini. And if you can't find it, you can use tahini as well, no problems. It's kind of peanut buttery in texture, and you want the stuff underneath the oil at the top, which is preserving it, straight through. It's 100% sesame seed made into a paste. You want to really give that a good mix through, and then we're going to start to compile the sort of sweet, sour flavors that are classic to Chinese cooking. So you really want to melt that peanut or that sesame paste through. And then we're going to get onto your sweet sours. So you've got some Qingqiang black vinegar here. It's quite a specialist ingredient. Now, it's got this sort of sweet, savory flavor to it. It actually is made from a black rice husk, and it's a fermented rice husk, which is where you get that sort of vinegary sour from. If you can't find this, then you can swap it out with those sort of cheap balsamic vinegars, the thin ones. Mix maybe 3 tablespoons of that with a tablespoon of light soy sauce and a tablespoon of sugar, and you'll get a very similar flavor. You don't want too much, just a slight sour. And we're going to balance that sour out with a similar amount of sugar. So it's about 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. Make sure that melts through nicely. And then a little bit of sesame oil just for the end, again to glaze those noodles and give it this sort of toasted sesame flavour. You can't forget that half a teaspoon of Sichuan peppercorns just to add to that kick from the chili oil. It's what the Chinese call mala, really hot and spicy. Once that's mixed through, we're ready to dress your salad. Grab your noodles. They should be nice and dry now. You can see how dry they are. And you can sort of almost just tear them off and pop them into the rest of the bowl. Here it goes, straight into there with your noodles. Once this dressing has gone into the noodles, that oil and the chili oil will really start to separate them out nicely. You want a nice quantity, but enough so that the chicken and the carrot and everything sifts into them. Then get your toasted sesame seeds straight over those as well. And then your dressing, we're not going to pour all of it through. We'll just start with 4 or 5 spoons. Get that flavour through. So once that's all mixed together nicely, got all that sauce in there, really gone through the noodles, then you're ready to serve.